Every December, America glows, with streets, storefronts, and living rooms filled with light. But the sparkle begins long before the switch is flipped, in factories, warehouses, and workshops.
We're following one simple path: raw materials, finished decor, retail shelves, and real homes.
From tiny plastic pellets and copper wire to ornaments that become family memories.
Tonight, we trace the journey of Christmas decorations, step by step, until the magic turns on.
Along the way, you'll see how designs are made, tested, shipped, and installed in public spaces.
Because holiday beauty isn't accidental. It's engineered, packed, and carefully handled.
And at the end of the journey, it becomes personal, on Main Street and inside American homes.
Many modern decorations begin as plastic, small pellets engineered to melt, flow, and harden into precise shapes.
Color can be built right into the plastic, so ornaments stay consistent across millions of copies. In molding, heated plastic fills a metal cavity, then cools into ornament halves in seconds.
Even artificial pine needles are designed of plastic, shaped to look soft and natural under warm light.
Some pieces are formed as thin shells, then trimmed clean, ready for paint, sparkle, or texture.
Pigments and additives control gloss, stiffness, and how the surface reflects holiday lighting. Quality checks catch imperfect seams, warping, or inconsistent color before finishing begins.
A simple snowflake can be sprayed, coated, or layered to mimic ice, chrome, or fresh snow.
The signature red ornament starts as two halves, joined carefully so the seam disappears on camera.
By this stage, plastic stops feeling like raw material and starts looking like Christmas.
Traditional ornaments often start with sand, silica, transformed by heat into glass.
Molten glass is shaped while it's still glowing, rotating so gravity doesn't distort the form. With a controlled breath, a clear sphere expands, becoming an ornament in seconds.
As it cools, glass captures light differently. Crisper reflections, sharper highlights, a fragile beauty.
Inside coatings can turn a clear shell into a mirror, then into rich holiday colors like deep red. Because glass is delicate, the journey requires protection, dividers, tissue, and careful handling.
Metal is the unseen structure of the season. Hooks, caps, frames, and fasteners that hold decorations in place.
Small stamped parts create reliable attachment points, so ornaments hang straight and secure.
Wreaths and garlands often hide a metal spine, giving them shape and allowing repeated reuse.
For lights, copper carries power through winter nights, connecting hundreds of tiny diodes.
Public decorations rely on sturdier metal hardware, built for wind, vibration, and repeated installations.
And metallic finishes add shine, reflecting streetlights and tree lights with a crisp, bright sparkle. Not everything is shiny plastic or glass. Some decor begins as paper, wood, and fabric, materials that feel warm and familiar. Wood ornaments bring natural grain and a handmade look, even when produced at scale.
Paper becomes tags, garlands, and packaging that protects fragile surfaces on long journeys.
Fabric adds softness, stockings, bows, and plush decorations that feel cozy in a winter home.
Stuffing and stitching turn flat cloth into characters and textures that read as comforting on camera.
These softer materials are where Christmas starts to feel personal, not just manufactured.
Before a decoration exists, designers decide what Christmas should look and feel like this year.
Color choices matter. because red under warm light looks different than red under daylight. Prototypes begin as simple parts, tested for fit and consistency before mass production starts.
Surfaces are sanded and refined, so paint and glitter sit evenly, without visible defects. Lights are tested early because reflections and glare can ruin a shiny finish on camera. Small sample runs compare finishes, choosing the one that feels festive without looking cheap.
Even a wreath is designed. Needle length, density, and wire stiffness shape how natural it appears.
Fabric details are matched to the main palette, so bows and stockings feel coherent in a room. Durability tests catch weak seams and fragile points that would fail in real homes.
Environmental tests simulate moisture and temperature swings, especially for flocked surfaces.
Packaging is engineered too, so ornaments survive shipping without scratches or cracks.
Once the set is approved, design becomes production. Fast, repeatable, and relentless. Mass production begins with speed. Molds close, plastic flows, and ornament shells appear by the hundreds. Automation handles repetition, while human hands still catch tiny flaws that the camera would notice. Each ornament is assembled with alignment in mind, so seams disappear when the tree lights hit. A simple cap and hook turn a shell into something that can hang, spin, and reflect light. Before any sparkle is added, the surface has to be clean, smooth, and consistent. Dust and static are enemy of glossy finishes, so ornaments are cleaned like camera props. A base coat prepares the surface, helping color and glitter adhere without patchy spots. Drying is timed careful. Too fast can crack coatings. Too slow risks fingerprints and dust. Cracks keep spacing consistent, so every ornament receives the same angle of paint and glitter. Small imperfections matter because glossy surfaces magnify flaws under holiday lighting. Some designs add balance so ornaments hang straight, especially larger pieces that would otherwise tilt. A clear coat locks in color and protects delicate finishes from scratches and fingerprints. Anything that fails the visual standard is reworked or removed before it reaches a shopper. Once the base looks perfect, the fun begins. Textures, sparkle, and holiday personality. Even the top cap has to fit precisely, or the ornament will wobble and look cheap on a tree.
A quick pull test ensures hooks won't bend easily, and spinning reveals hidden surface defects.
Factories pause for small fixes because consistency matters more than raw speed in the final look.
Batches are tracked for consistency, so the red you buy matches the red your neighbor buys.
Glitter is controlled chaos. Adhesive first, then a measured coat so sparkle looks even, not clumpy.
The goal is a uniform shimmer that reads luxurious under warm LEDs, without bald patches.
Textured finishes imitate snow and frost, adding depth that catches light from different angles.
Metallic coatings amplify highlights, turning simple shapes into bright points on a dark tree.
Pearl finishes change with movement, giving ornaments a living surface as they sway.
Patterns are layered with stencils and masks, making details that stay sharp in close-up shots.
Small embellishments add a premium feel, but only if they're aligned perfectly and secured. Drying time is part of the design. Rushing it can cloud a gloss coat or loosen glitter.
Final hand checks keep ornaments camera ready,
because glossy surfaces show everything.
A quick stress test confirms the ornament won't fail when handled by shoppers or hung at home.
The real test is light. If it looks stunning under LEDs, it will look stunning on a tree.
After finishing, ornaments leave the paint floor and enter the logistics world: packing, shipping, and retail.
Artificial greenery is assembled piece by piece, combining plastic needles with a metal spine for shape. Workers fluff and position needles so the wreath looks dense and natural from the street.
Flocking adds a winter look, but it has to be applied evenly or it clumps in close up.
Symmetry matters. Wreaths must look full on camera from every angle, not just the front.
Texture comes from mixed materials: pine cones, berries, and accents that break up uniform plastic.
A bow becomes the focal point, so fabric texture and color coordination are checked carefully.
Greenery must be protected from crushing because flattened needles look cheap on arrival.
Now the wreath joins the same shipment as ornaments and lights, different materials, one holiday destination. Fabric deco is built with sewing and precision because crooked seams are obvious in close shawls.
Soft trims add warmth, but they must be aligned so they look neat under bright living room light.
Stuffing turns flat fabric into volume, creating characters that feel friendly and cozy on camera.
Bows are small, but they set the tone. Color, texture, and shine must match the rest of the decor.
Durability checks ensure fabric items survive repeated use, storage bins, and curious hands. Once packed, fabric decor follows the same path as ornaments: warehouses, trucks, and retail shelves. Factories sample and measure constantly, so the finished look stays consistent from batch to batch.
By now, raw materials have become finished goods, and the next challenge is getting them safely to customers. Holiday lights combine tiny electronics with long runs of wire, designed to glow for weeks without failing.
Copper carries power through the string, while insulation protects against heat, moisture, and abrasion.
Connectors are built for real handling, pulled, bent, and wrapped into storage bins year after year.
Testing confirms consistent brightness, even color temperature, and reliable connections across the entire string. Flicker and dead segments are rejected because imperfections become obvious in dark outdoor scenes. Heat management matter. Well-designed LEDs run cooler and reduce risk during long holiday nights.
Outdoor lights add seals and gaskets, protecting contacts from rain, snow, and condensation.
Coiling is part of reliability. Tight bends can damage wires, so loops are uniform and gentle.
Packaging prevents crushed diodes and protects plugs, so lights arrive intact and ready to use. Lights move in large seasonal waves, staged so stores are stocked before the biggest shopping weekends. Shipping adds vibration and cold, so pallets are strapped tight to avoid damage in transit.
Distribution centers split shipments to thousands of destinations: stores, towns, and front doors.
In retail, lights are merchandised for quick comparison, glow color, length, and intended indoor or outdoor use.
The moment electricity meets design, the decoration becomes an atmosphere, warm, bright, and instantly seasonal.
Timers and routing matter, keeping installations consistent and reducing tangled, unsafe cable runs.
Even new products are inspected by careful users because safety is part of enjoying the lights.
Now everything converges. Ornaments, greenery, and lights arrive in the same seasonal ecosystem.
The factory journey ends at the shelf, where real people decide what their holiday will look like.
For fragile decor, packaging is a protective system designed to prevent scratches and impacts during shipping.
Glass pieces get extra layers because one hard knock can erase weeks of careful finishing.
Sealing has to survive warehouses, trucks, and store handling without popping open or letting dust in. Pallet patterns are engineered for stability, distributing weight so nothing crushes on the way to retail. Wrapped pallets become single units, easier to move and far less likely to shift in transit.
Shipping is where deco meets physics. Vibration, cold, and miles of road test every box.
Distribution centers route decor to thousands of destinations, timed for seasonal demand spikes.
In the store, the seasonal setup begins. Unboxing, counting, and moving product to the sales floor.
Shoppers evaluate shine, weight, and color in seconds, often choosing what looks best under store lighting. For greenery, people judge fullness and softness, looking for something that feels natural despite being synthetic.
Lights are chosen for glow and reliability because one dead segment can ruin a whole outdoor line.
At purchase, the journey shifts from industry to personal life, and the decoration becomes someone's plan for home.
From store to home, customers become the final link in the supply chain, protecting their decor one last time. At home, the first inspection is instinctive. People check shine, seams, and whether the piece feels special.
Many households plan a palette, arranging ornaments like a small design set before decorating begins.
Wreaths are shaped and fluffed, restoring volume lost during shipping so they look full on the door.
While homes decorate, towns prepare public spaces, using sturdier hardware and careful installation routines.
Public deco must survive wind and vibration, so every tie, bracket, and connector is installed with intention.
Public decorating starts with safety, because crews work above traffic and in cold, unpredictable weather. Hardware must be secure. A single loose bracket can become dangerous in winter wind.
The wreath is positioned for symmetry and visibility, then locked in place so it won't rotate or sag.
Spacing and routing matter, because a clean install looks magical, while messy cables look cheap.
Outdoor connections are protected from moisture, so the display keeps working through rain and freezing nights.
Timers automate the show, switching displays on and off with consistent rhythm every evening.
At dusk, the work becomes visible. A street that looked ordinary now feels festive and inviting.
Public decor is designed for distance and durability, but close-up details still matter for photos and memories.
Displays are maintained, not just installed, because even a small outage stands out in a dark street. Cities often reuse decorations for years, storing them carefully to protect finishes and reduce replacement costs. Large public trees are engineered structures, assembled like scaffolding, then dressed with thousands of lights. Power planning is essential, balancing brightness with safety and ensuring circuits handle long run times.
The reveal is the reward, a shared public moment created by materials, planning, and patient labor. Public displays inspire private ones, and the visual language repeats: warm lights, wreaths, and red accents. At home, the same objects become intimate, chosen not for crowds, but for family and guests. From the street, a home's decorations become a quiet signal: warmth inside and welcome outside.
In American homes, decorating often starts like a small production, laying everything out and choosing a theme. Lights go on first, woven deep so the tree glows from within, rather than looking like a surface outline.
Ornaments are placed for balance, color distributed evenly, with special pieces saved for eye-level spots.
Fragile pieces are positioned thoughtfully, Because real life includes pets, kids, and crowded rooms.
Mantels and shelves add layers, mixing greenery, fabric, and small lights to extend the holiday beyond the tree. Entryway decor is both aesthetic and practical, tested every time the door moves and the weather shifts.
Outdoor installs look best when cables are hidden and lines are clean, like careful architecture in light. Good decorating includes safety checks. Damaged cords are replaced before they become a risk.
Organized power routing reduces strain, prevents overheating, and makes the whole setup easier to manage. Open flame and dry greenery don't mix, so households create distance to keep the season both beautiful and safe.
When the room goes quiet, the design choices show. Warm light, balanced color, and reflective surfaces. The final step is symbolic: a topper, a star, or an angel, marking the tree as complete.
From outside, the house becomes part of the neighborhood's shared winter scene, echoing the downtown lights.
A single ornament can carry the whole journey, from raw material to a moment that feels like home. When the season ends, the journey continues. Decorations are handled again, this time for storage and reuse. Careful packing protects fragile pieces, especially glass, so they can return intact next year. Lights last longer when they're coiled gently, avoiding sharp kinks that break wires over time.
Greenery is stored to preserve volume, because a flattened wreath never looks the same on a door.
Many people repair instead of replace, extending the life of decorations with simple fixes and care.
Some decorations move on through donation, letting their story continue in another home.
From sand, oil, forests, metals, and tiny electronic parts, decorations become light, then become meaning.
The magic feels effortless, but it's built, designed, manufactured, shipped, installed, and finally made personal.